Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this Zoom seminar, which has been long awaited, all about the Telco Digital Natives. Thank you for everyone who's registered. We hope that you're managing to get online today to join us. We're also live broadcasting this onto our Facebook page for anyone who also wants to join us from Facebook. So Telco Digital Natives, this little webinar that we're hosting is all about a new initiative that Telco is launching to have partners, business partners that will work with us, create employment and create opportunities for young, bright sparks that are interested in the technology industry. So I'd like to introduce the team that is spearheading the Telco Digital Natives initiative. First of all, I'd like to introduce Jackie Ndlovu, who is the head of marketing and sales at Telco. Then Tawanda Bwanya, the head of technical and innovation projects. Then Ndabenhle Ngala, who's the head of operations. And then Yokai Guruva, who's the head of our service desk. I'm going to start off by asking each of these people to give you just a 1 minute about what they think the world of work is going to look like in the 21st century and post-COVID and going forward, and give you some of the ideas that we have about what the world of work is going to look like. Jackie Ndlovu, won't you give us a bit of a snippet about what you think the world of work is going to look like?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dumi. And thank you for joining us, hopefully, future digital natives. So post-COVID, I think there's a lot of changes that will happen, and we've already started to see those changes in terms of this work from home initiatives. So we know that it's not business as usual. It's no longer now sitting at a desk and reporting in at 8 and finishing at 5. It's now about deliverables. It's about productivity, and productivity not coined by time. So sometimes you're most productive at 10 p.m. Guess what? You get on as long as you're meeting your KPIs, you're meeting your initiatives, you're meeting your deadlines in terms of your deliverables. That's what the new normal will be. So my thought is that we all have to adapt to a non-desk environment. It's now about productivity. It's no longer good enough just turning up to the office and check in and check out and leave at 1 for lunch, come back at 2. It's now going to be monitored, I think, more deliberately in terms of productivity. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Jackie. So the new world of work is all about productivity. It's not about hours, is it? Fantastic.
Not at all.
Tawanda Bwanya, give us your ideas about what the new world of work looks like. Oh, I think we don't seem to have you on mic there, Tawanda. Can I, while you sort that out, can I ask Ndaba, give us a snippet of what you believe the world of work will look like in the 21st century?
Thank you, Dumi, and good afternoon to everybody. I'll share a word that I learned just at the end of last week. I'm not saying anything too different to what Jackie has kind of already said, but I learned a word that is the gig economy. And I had heard this word before, but probably never in the right context. And the gig economy doesn't speak to, being a telco and an internet service provider. When you hear gig, you usually think about data. But this word was used in the context that the gig economy equates to that work is being done. You get a gig, like a job gig. And in that gig, you go and you produce for that amount of time. And then when you're done, you get paid for that. So I think post-COVID, I think the digital economy as it's going to be and as the world is changing to be, is going to be filled with lots of gigs. So I think it's quite an exciting times, quite a lot of exciting opportunities around the gigs that are going to be available to our digital natives.
Fabulous. I think that's a really great concept that you've introduced there, the idea that the world is moving towards gigs in terms of little jobs rather than in terms of like long-term employment prospects, and that creates lots of opportunities for great things to be done and great things to happen. Yokai Guruva, Why don't you give us a bit of insight into what your perspectives are in terms of the world of work in the 21st century?
I think so far we are now getting to a place where each individual employee is now learning to be more deliberate, and self-motivation being the number one thing that you actually have to tap into every morning when you wake up, because that's what's needed now. You're no longer in a setting where you know that your manager is next door or just down the hall. You now know that everything totally rests and relies on you. And with our digital natives, I think this is the number one thing that we're looking for: deliberate people and self-motivated people who know what they want and know that now, this being the new normal, we most likely will not get back to the old working environment. And being deliberate and being self-motivated, I think this is what employee of now that we need going forward. I think that's all I have to say.
Fantastic. So self-motivation, being able to be a self-driver, having an internal locus of control versus waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Fantastic perspectives there. Tawanda, we've got you back online. I hope your mic's working. Why don't you give us your perspective about where you believe the world of work and what the world of work looks like in the 21st century?
I think, you can hear me well?
Yes, very well, thank you.
My take on the New World Order is that we have seen we are going to see a lot more democratization of information and driven by technology. And so gone are the days where, you expect computer science graduates, for instance, to be the people who pioneer innovation in technology now, because it has become all encompassing. So I even had a long debate with someone about the issue of the digital native is supposed to be an ageist thing where you are excluding a certain group of people. But I think because the information is not exclusive to young people or a certain bracket, there's no barriers. There's no, I look forward to employing a retiree who wants to work from home, who thinks that, and they are digital native because they understand the life of being always connected and how you can bring value through this whole new connected world. So my take is, the boundaries are off. It's good for the young ones, and I think it does.
So Tawanda, I'm hearing you saying there that the new world of work has not, because of the democratization of information, it's got nothing to do with age. It's got nothing to do with life stage, even mothers, old people, retirees. Anyone can be a digital native. Anyone can get work done in the 21st century. And I love that concept. Fantastic. That means some of us can start second and third and fourth careers. We don't have to think only linearly. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, team, for giving us your initial perspectives. Thank you, those who've attended and are joining us both on the Zoom platform as well as on the Facebook platform. I want to invite you to ask your questions, make your comments about what the world of work is going to look like in the 21st century as we go through this webinar. I'm going to now hand over to Ndaba, who's going to do a brief presentation with the help of the rest of the team about what the Telco Digital Native is all about, what we're looking for, what we are hoping to attract in terms of the next generation participant in our business. And let me hand over to you and the rest of the team.
Thank you, Dumi. Again, a warm welcome to everybody this afternoon. And what we're just going to try and do over the next maybe 10 or so minutes is spell out a little bit more clearly. I think the team has done an excellent job in trying to articulate what the workspace and the lay of the land is going to be as we go forward. But we're going to try and spell out a little more about what the Digital Native Initiative is about, who is the digital native, what the scope of work that we're looking at for those who want to come on board and be digital natives in the telco digital village, as we would like to call it. So yes, please follow on as we go. All right, so welcome to the Telco Digital Village. It's a place where we can work, we can learn, we can explore, we can collaborate. And importantly for everybody, we want to be able to earn a little bit of something, isn't it? So welcome to the Telco Digital Village. All right, so meet our digital natives, okay? So who are these digital natives? All right, we've got someone like Tariro Swanda. Tariro Swanda is 26-year-old. She's a professional designer, and she also runs marketing campaigns for different goods on Facebook. She's become quite adept at that and does some reasonable level of sales. We've also got Martha. Martha Ngwenya is 34 years old. She is an author. She's got quite a few books lined up. And she runs quite a number of different blogs online on a number of topics, and it's quite an exciting space that she's in there. We've also got Ashley Maprang. Ashley is a school leaver. He's currently job hunting, but in between time, he's doing a bit of cryptocurrency online trading. It's earning him a bit of experience and earning him a little few cents to keep going as he's hunting for a job. Lastly, we've got, Tinashe Makova. Right, Tinashe is 29 years old. He's a hustlepreneur. He does a few local area network jobs here and there, supplies access points and routers to different customers around the country. So these are a group of some of our digital natives, all right? And I'm sure it will start to speak to as we continue, so you can see the fit of who the digital native is. Tando already kind of touched on this. Digital natives are not a specific age, all right? They are young at heart, and basically they are able to fit in with all technological trends. You know, the young people these days, they say they're woke, you know, so that's who our digital natives are. They are awake to technological innovations and developments. Maybe Tanda, can you speak a little bit more to what you see? You talked about the age factor. Maybe just flesh it out a little more there.
Thanks, Java. So my view of this new connected native is that because organizations, like already I think Jackie touched on, are moving away from, you know, just mandatory clock in and clock out. We're looking for people who have a set, or who have a particular skill set, or who have acquired, or who can acquire the skill set really. And you find that, for instance, you have $10 programs online that allows you to do ITIL or any certification. So to me, because the material is available, there is no way that you could possibly put a restriction on who can access and who can learn that. It's really a question of who can, you know, acquire the necessary skill set to now be relevant in the organization, or in what organization is looking for. I mean, we were amazed a few days back when a 10-year-old Indian kid built their own distribution of Linux. You know what I mean? That's the new reality. And if a 10-year-old can do it, to me, an 80-year-old can do it, because the source that both those two have is the same. You have access to exactly the same source information. So I think it's the most important thing as far as learning, to me, for digital native is concerned, is understanding that there is no grouping now that is exclusivity to the information that is required. It's just a question of who wants it most, who wants it bad enough. So I expect the digital natives to understand how to, you know, dig for information within the web, basically.
Thank you, Tawanda. I think Yokai touched on this one very well as well. Drive. You have to be self-driven. You know, the digital natives are self-starters. They are able to work objectively under minimal supervision. You know, and she did touch on that now, you know, because, for example, those who are able to work from home, you don't have someone chasing you all the time to get things done. So because of that, we expect that a digital native is a driven person. You know, they are able to get things done. Nobody has to chase them up because they know what they're about, especially when it comes to your capacity to earn. There's nobody who's going to force you to earn money in the digital economy. You have to be driven, you have to want it for yourself. Nextly, the digital native is, you know, if you've ever had a question and you didn't know the answer to it, and your first instinct is, let me Google it. That's a digital native, you know? So digital natives are quick thinking Googlers. They're able to do micro learning for every challenge and need that may be there. So for example, if you've ever needed to look for a recipe or follow a recipe online to cook something, you are a digital native, you know? And micro learning now means that we are not restricted to having to learn things in the classroom only. Obviously, in this age, and Tawanda touched on it quite a bit just now, the internet and information is widely available. It's now the capacity and capability of people to actually just take that and learn from it. Jackie, maybe can you add a few cents in this regard to how we can use, or how digital natives should leverage the internet to learn and get things done?
Thank you, Naba. So for us, a digital native is someone that's not limited by available knowledge. So you might have not learned it in school, you might not have learned it from a friend, but guess what? You've got an ability to say it is somewhere, and you must be driven to want to find an answer. So it's not someone that is waiting to present problems. It's someone who is able to provide solution and actively do it. So when you come across something you don't understand, guess what? First instinct, like my mom would do, she'll be like, okay, I'm her go-to girl as a digital native because I can quickly get stuff for her. That's the type of person that we're looking for, a person that is an enabler of solution rather than someone that sits back and says, I'm waiting for someone to tell me how it's going to be done or how it should be done. So it's active, 100%. It's an agile mind. So an agility of the mind is where digital native operates from, which is, to Tawanda's point, it's got nothing to do with age. It's your own mental agility that makes you a digital native. Yeah.
100%. Thank you, Jackie. So, and maybe just as Jackie has ended on agility. So agility, we're talking about the flexibility, the free thinkingness, the ability to be able to pivot very quickly, you know. And I think for this time and this season, if you found yourself also thinking how you can use tech or how you can use the digital economy to try and leverage and make some money in this environment, or, you know, change your employment circumstance in this environment, you are a digital native. So that agility, that ability to very quickly not only look at the problems are there, yes, but also look at a solution, look at how we can leverage technology to create solutions. That's the thinking that we're looking for from our digital natives. Digital natives are social natives, okay? You know, Facebook, you know, Skype, WhatsApp, Twitter. This is the landscape that our digital natives operate from. So yeah, maybe can you just add in your perspective how or what digital natives should be using the social media for in this new normal?
I was actually thinking about it right now that our digital native or natives should be a person or people who actually love gossip, because this is the only way you can feed yourself with information about what's the latest technological development or the latest way in which service provision can be improved. So for me, the use of social media for our digital natives could be for the source of mainly getting information and knowing how to channel that information that you actually get in a more constructive and beneficial way. Like, for example, like on Facebook, if you are on Facebook and if there's a platform that you usually use the most, or Instagram or things like that, you can pick and choose some things that you can actually channel into the way you work and channel into making your work process as a digital native more beneficial and more meaningful to the organization as a whole. So I think, yeah,
100%.
a person who loves gossip and knows how to channel it in a beneficial way.
100%. Always some of the best initiatives and ideas come from identifying other people's problems in the gossip. So definitely, I think that's a key aspect of how we can leverage the social media, being social media natives, into the digital economy, and actually come up with solutions and means that we can actually earn. Our digital native is always online, no matter the place, no matter the cost. All right. If you're one of those people who, as soon as you get to a place, the first thing you're looking for is the Wi-Fi signal, that's a digital native. You don't ever want to be offline. And if you do find yourself offline, if there's an extra cost to pay, you're one of those people who's very likely to pay the extra fee and get yourself back online. Those are digital natives. Our digital natives are good communicators. They're able to handle multiple channels of communication simultaneously. In this day, in this age, you can be Facebooking on one side, WhatsApping on another side, replying emails at the same time. So that agility and that capability to simultaneously use multiple communication channels, that's something that is key to a digital native. Our digital natives are task-oriented. I think the team already spoke to this, that they don't look specifically at the time, but they look at the task, right? They are not out to just, work the clock and then 5 o'clock clock out. They're out, they're objective, they want to make sure that what they've been given, they'll get it done. So those are key traits of our digital native. Geography. Geography is a wonderful thing which does not really exist to the digital native anymore. They are global citizens. They are not limited by physical time and space. They're able to work and collaborate and earn from anywhere. Most digital natives will know that now you're not limited because you're in Zimbabwe to be able to participate on projects or things that are done in other countries. There are many bounty type sites where you can actually get a gig, work, and earn in the comfort of your home in Zimbabwe. You're doing a job for someone in Belgium. All right, so there's no geographical limitation. Maybe Jackie, do you want to just emphasize a little bit more on geography, what the digital native or what the new landscape has changed for the digital native?
Thank you, Daba. It's just to reiterate the way I started off, to say it's no longer a limitation of a desk or a location. It's now a mindset. So your mindset is wherever you're supposed to be. Like, for instance, with us, we've got projects that we work on that are not even on this continent, but they're successfully brought to fruition because it's now about connecting to a need of another person, not necessarily where you are. So yeah. Like Tawanda spoke to the fact that it's not even about you are sitting next to me. It now is about I'm task-oriented. There's a skill set that I have that can provide a solution to a problem that you have. So my location now is literally my phone or my tablet, and I can provide that solution. So now the field is no longer, in Harare, in whatever location. The field is now in the mind. The game is now operating from the brain. That is now the new geography. That is the new normal now.
100%. Thank you, Jackie. And I think even the way that the whole world, not only us in Zimbabwe, have taken on using these collaboration platforms, webinar platforms like Zoom, to kind of keep learning, keep sharing information. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing, that we're breaking down the geographic boundary, and we're still looking at how we can continue producing not only at the same pace as before, but even at a faster and better pace. Lastly, in defining our digital native realizes the power of things like LinkedIn, you know. LinkedIn is one of the platforms, again, it kind of does touch on our social media native, but it's one of the spaces and places that we expect to find all our digital natives. Maybe Tawanda, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that? Tawanda, you're muted. Tawanda, we can't hear you. Okay, we seem to not be able to get Tawanda there, but LinkedIn is one of the key places that we expect that even as we are working, as we are identifying our digital natives, we want to find them on LinkedIn. It's a great platform for professionals. So we are definitely expecting that all those people who will be contacting shortly, that they will have some form of LinkedIn profile. Okay, I think we've kind of done justice to trying to define what the who the digital native is, what they're about, the type of mindset, the type of place, the type of geography that they're playing in. So now maybe let's just identify from a telco perspective, as we are launching this initiative, some of the opportunities that we see. So some of those key opportunities is working in a dynamic, energetic, modern team. That's what the Telco Digital Native opportunity brings. Lead your community and be part of the work from home pioneers in Zimbabwe business. You know, this work from home thing, teleworking is something that has become a big thing with the coming in of the COVID-19 pandemic. So now we are saying, look, let's not leave it at just a talk thing, but let's actually actualize it. So we're looking for team members who are going to be part of the work from home pioneers in Zimbabwe. The digital natives are going to join an exclusive team of digital natives who are changing and challenging the workspace culture in Zimbabwe. So it's part of those things we've talked about, not being stuck with working the conventional 8 to 5, not being stuck working certain hours, not being stuck working in certain places. All right, so we're changing the culture of what it is to be at work. Our digital natives, as part of the opportunity, will get cool gadgets and tech to work and earn. All right, so we want to enable our digital natives to be able to work and earn. All right, our digital natives are also going to get lots of cool apparel that will be branded for the digital native. The digital natives will work flexible hours. The digital natives will get paid for production. So the nice thing about getting paid for production is it's about you now. You work more, you get paid more. All right, so we're not limiting it to just a 9 to 5 type thing where you get paid for hours, but you're paid, as we talked about, per gig. You know, once you get the gig done, if you can get 10 gigs done in a day, you get paid for 10 gigs. The digital native is someone we're looking to grow your career in the digital and technology space. We are going to be enabling, equipping, training a lot to make sure that you are really and truly a digital native who's able and flexible to operate and earn in the new digital economy. Right, the job spec for the digital native. The current job spec that we're looking at, or the job title, is a network service consultant. All right. This network service consultant is going to work as one of a member of a team of 4 people. The requirements in terms of experience, you do not have to have any working experience to be to take up this role. The minimum age is 18 years. That's what we've said it at the moment. Maybe, again, we do not want to fall afoul of the law in that regard, but if we found some clever 10-year-olds, who knows? The minimum psychometric scoring and professional testing and TOEFL, those will be filled out, and we'll give you details about that at a later stage. But some of the key things is good, clear communication capability, command of good business English. But again, just to say that we will train and equip those people coming in for the role to make sure that they meet the spec that we want to have as digital natives. Added advantages is if you have a HN higher national diploma or a degree in telecoms, media studies, marketing, sales, public relations, human resources, industrial psychology, any one of the CCNA or Cisco related courses are an advantage as well, but that is not a limiting factor if you do not have any of these. Interpersonal skills, high digital literacy. You're a digital native, we expect this. Good team player, good communicator, enthusiastic, proactive, the ability to problem solve, a lateral thinker, someone who's organized, pays attention to detail, flexible to work outside of normal business hours. Again, as we said, we're changing the landscape of what work looks like. So it won't be the norm 9 to 5. So you need to be able to work outside of the normal business hours. The purpose of the job is customer care, first line support, to be a single point of contact between the service provider and its existing and new customers. All right. So that's the spec of the job. I think having said that, to me, I'll hand back to you to take the viewers through the rest of the process.
Fantastic. I've enjoyed listening to that Digital Natives team. I'm excited. I'd like to join. Can I move from finance and become a telco digital native? Is that possible? Maybe actually, can I start there and ask a question for anyone who maybe is saying to themselves, okay, look, I'm not technical in experience, but I feel like I could become a telco digital native. I feel like I could work from home and you know, and do many things that would be of use. Can I join? Can I become a digital native? Maybe if I could direct that one to Ndaba.
Sure, 100% to me. Thank you. Again, and as we've tried to spell it out, it's not about the current profession or career that you are in. It's all about your mindset. It's all about your capability to move with the trends. The social media native, the digital native, those are our people, those are our guys that we want to actually have as part of our team. So it's not about the current career you have or your current profession that you're working in.
Okay, fantastic. Can you just take us back to the opportunities there, because I think I saw some nice things there that I'd love to tap into. I think it was the slide before this one, which the one before, 2 slides before, which listed all the nice things that digital natives will get access to, including cool apparel, because I can see myself working from home and having cool apparel. So thank you for that presentation, Digital Natives teams. I'd like to then open up for questions. I've already got a few questions here. Anyone who's got any questions coming from our different platforms, please go ahead and put those questions. But maybe I can ask some questions coming out of the presentation, just to clear up a few things, maybe for people who are looking at this and wondering whether they can be a telco digital native. Firstly, you talked about, you know, the fact that anyone from any environment, typically technical companies such as telco have looked for people with strong, traditionally technical skills and technical qualifications. And I know that in your slide you said you will train, but how technically minded does somebody have to be in order to become a telco digital native? I was going to direct this one to Tawanda, but I see he's having a little bit of a challenge there.
Yeah,
how technical? Oh, you're here. Okay.
Sorry.
Tawanda, maybe you can tell us, how technical do I actually have to be a digital native?
The crazy part is from just being curious to being ultra technical. the beauty with the landscape is that it's got room for everybody. Because remember, as a digital natives, your touch point is not just technical people. It's your touching point with everyday users. So I think your background is still going to be a plus in the digital environment. It's just a question of, can you then get enough information to operate there? So there will be requirements, for instance, depending on the level, for programming, which basically UN says every person who uses a computer should be able to program, for instance. But I don't think that in this new world order, we have to talk about, were you ever trained technically? It's a question of what digital skill set can you acquire? You know, you find that most of so-called social media influencers are non-technical, but their impact is great in the digital space. So I think it's we will have a spec, for instance, in terms of the things you need to know depending on which part of the business you're going to work in. But otherwise, if you can learn, the sky's the limit.
Fantastic. So it's all about my research capabilities and how much I can learn, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. So maybe a second question here that I can direct towards Jackie. Jackie, you talked about productivity and that's what matters. Perhaps, you know, someone's concern might be that if I'm not in an office environment, how do I know how productive I can be? Because in an office environment, sometimes you're learning from the person next to you. Sometimes you help each other with the person next to you. How do I get most productive when I'm working at home by myself?
Okay, thanks, Dumi. So the lucky thing is that as the Digital Natives core team, we've got a mixed set skill, and we've got key performance indicators or job output that will be explained and expected from an individual that would join our team. So for instance, we'll tell you that you're supposed to answer so many X number of calls for you to be said to be productive, or you need to respond to certain client customer complaints or customer queries. And we will set out the performance indicators for you that say you're productive. And always, there's always going to be a team members to assist you of senior personnel. The core team, which is sitting here, has got vast expertise and vast knowledge in terms of just the runnings in and out of the business. So you will have people that will walk you through the process. That's why Tawanda and even Dava, I think just generally as a team, we spoke about how we're going to train you. So we'll train you on the expected result. We will train you on what we would want as a deliverable. And then from there, like Ndaba put it, then the sky is the limit. Your research capability and your output then bring you the result of your dollars.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. Yokai, maybe talk to us a little bit about this idea that you guys talked about working at any time of day. Does that mean like any time is tea time? Does it mean that you know, I can get calls at any time and be expected to do work? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, 24/7. Since we run a 24/7 service, our digital natives sure will be expected, if they can, to actually put in the work if they do have the resources, of if they're capable to actually work 24 hours. Because right now, I think one of the nice things that you're talking about, the opportunities were get paid for production, work more, get paid more. So if we do see that you are actually working and making an impact on maybe your day's work or on the hours, if you are working more, you'll definitely get paid more. I don't think there's any limit to how many hours you can work. I think that's the beauty of this, is that we are now offering individuals the ability to stretch themselves and see how far they can go. So I think it's now all up to the natives on how much they want to apply themselves to this.
So basically I can set my, somewhat set my work hours. Is that what we're saying?
Of course, we will have a minimum number of work hours, but then the additional hours are the ones that you can then determine on how much further you want to go. But of course, there will be a minimum time. But yeah, it depends on your drive and how determined you are.
Fantastic. That's great. Another question, maybe channeled towards Ndaba and Tawanda. Ndaba, can you maybe kick off by telling us what kind of projects would a digital native be working on? Just to give, I know you gave the spec there, but what kinds of projects would they be working on? What kind of work would they be expected to output that would be such that if they worked more hours or less hours, they can do as much as or as little as the minimum that is prescribed?
Okay, thank you, Jumi. I think having shown the job spec, being one very particular role, in that regard, particularly we're looking at a call center functionality. So they'll be receiving and making incoming and outgoing calls to our customers. So that's one very particular role. So the measurement, as alluded by the team already, will be a measure of how many calls you should take. And you get paid more or less in line with the minimum spec or every additional call received or made out. But that's one particular function. As Telco, as the digital village, we have a whole number of other roles that are not necessarily limited to just the call center functionality. And I think in due course and due time, we will be advertising those, and even those who maybe feel they may not fit into the call center role will be able to participate in other areas of the business.
Okay, that's fantastic. Maybe Tawanda, you could add a little more flesh on the, given that you run with innovation projects, what are some of the other innovation ideas that people who maybe don't necessarily want to do call center stuff, but could look forward to hearing about in the future?
Right. The technology is a non-stop train. So as a business, as much as the technology will be relevant to our customers, we go for it and adopt it. So we are looking at, in a big way, AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we have roles, full stack developers requirements there. We've got, who knows, we might need physicists at some point, because we're doing a lot around, Internet of Things. So with Internet of Things, the integration is supposed to be end to end. It's not just technology; it's understanding, where you're trying to drop in, what you're trying to drop into the technological stack. So our requirements are going to be across the board. One interesting twist, for instance, that we have seen is that traditionally we've always had a lot of network engineers who were, your typical Cisco trained, Juniper and the likes. But suddenly the network has gone soft. So now we are running software-defined networks, and suddenly we need a whole lot more programmers or engineers that can, swing over to be able to be comfortable in front of source code or in front of code. So all of these opportunities are coming up, and we'll be posting these to reach out to people who want to cut up. Either you're coming from the traditional, what is now traditional, unfortunately, and you now want to join the SDN type space. So yeah, those are the other opportunities that people can look at.
Fantastic. Maybe in line with that, Ndaba, you spoke a little bit in the presentation about that the digital native is someone who has no geographical borders. Were you implying that there are projects that digital native, number one, could possibly be someone from within Zimbabwe who then works on international projects, and number two, whether this person could be sitting outside the borders of Zimbabwe but working for a Zimbabwean company? What were you implying there?
Thank you, Jumi. Exactly that. Both directions. people in Zimbabwe will have opportunities to work on projects that are outside of the country. And as well as those people who are outside of Zimbabwe, we will be looking for digital natives who are not based within Zimbabwe to come and participate in all these roles that we're defining. Again, because we're saying geography is not an issue anymore. As long as you can plug in, we've got the systems, we've got the tools, you can plug in there, you can participate, you can earn. So it is definitely not limited to where you are. The job requirement, whether you are in Harare or Masvingo or Mtare or Bikita or Johannesburg or Blantyre, it doesn't really matter. As long as you are our digital native, we will be able to participate and join in to the program.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I've got a question here from an anonymous attendee who says, do you get given data or airtime to carry out the given tasks? I don't know, can I throw that one at Yokai?
Yes, definitely. We will make sure that you have all the resources that you need to make sure that the work is done. I think if you go back, I think I keep referring to the opportunity list where you will definitely get the devices you need, the gadgets you need to make sure the work is done, as the exclusive apparel, which is like a bonus, but we will definitely provide the resources that will make it possible for you to get your work done.
Fantastic. So I hope that answers your question, Anonymous. The cool gadgets, the tech, the data, and the airtime provision will be made available to you in order for you to get stuff done. I'd like to ask maybe a question that has less to do with maybe how does a team build online? How do the digital natives become part of a team that's coherent and that has fun together and that's therefore productive together? Because we've been talking about fairly serious things in terms of how this gets done. Maybe this will be one of my last questions in this regard. How does a team that does this, how do they have fun together? How do they bond? Perhaps I can have a bit of a hazard from every single panelist here, and then we'll start to wrap up the session.
Okay, well, to me, I think that is easy. Digital natives we kind of already know how to have fun online because we are social media natives. It's kind of the same way we have been playing, having good times, having times of jokes, using the social platforms over the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So it's nothing too different from that. Those different collaborative platforms, and again, we're talking, as you said, maybe we've been talking about the fairly serious things, but we can use all those platforms for a lot of fun as well. In the workspace, we've got something called gamification. We can make all sorts of games out of even production. As is with children learn best when they're playing. Adults produce best when they're playing too. So that's not a limiting factor. So, and as well, I think while we're talking about the digital native and we're talking about our platforms and we're talking about a lot of online things, God willing, COVID-19 won't always be there forever. We will have social events when the shutdown is lifted. We will have other fun times where people can actually come together because as human beings, we do still crave social interaction. And while the online world is providing us the first step, I think we will still need to have times when we can actually meet and greet.
Fantastic. Maybe a closing word there, Jackie Ndlovu. I know you're the queen of fun.
So definitely we are aware that, like Ndaba said, life, we crave human interaction. So he spoke about gamification. We've got these amazing games that are online that you can play, your Candy Crush version of what Telco Natives can do. So yes, we will play and we will be productive and we'll always do things that enhance productivity. Like he said, adults, we produce better when we're playing. So yes, we will go ahead and play. We hope you'll be able to join us as a digital native soon. To anyone watching, we look forward to having you on board.
Okay, thanks, Jackie. Yokai, give us a closing word there about what your last closing thoughts around the digital natives.
I think with what's going on, the process of people getting to know each other and people getting to have fun, as so many people have said so far right now, has been totally redefined. So as digital natives, I'll then leave it to our digital natives to at least help us find new and fun ways of actually having fun, as being a digital native is number one, being solutions oriented. So we will say this as one of the new fun challenges that we can have as a team that will be working together. That as digital natives, let's look for more fun ways to actually interact and move together as a team.
That's fantastic. I love that, Yokai. You're setting a challenge already for the digital natives to actually come up with fun ways to have fun. Brilliant. Tawanda, let me let you have the last word there before I start wrapping up.
My word is come and test us, see whether we are fit. I think the beauty with this new world order is that we are now flushed or awash with options, and I think what Telco Digital Natives is offering you is an opportunity to shine. So, and if you feel like you're up to it, in your guys' words, come make your pitch to us and say why do you think you should be part of this team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So potential digital natives, that's what we had for you this afternoon. And we are really, really excited to start getting an influx of exciting proposals from potential people who want to join the digital natives team. Now, I'm sure you're asking the question, how do I start that process? So we're going to be starting a process which starts from now and which will be running for the next month and a bit, where we will be chatting. We're going to call it chatting. We're not even going to call it interviewing. We're going to call it chatting to potential digital natives, people who think that they can come and add value. Perhaps we've spoken about something that's up your alley today. Perhaps we've not spoken about anything that's up your alley, and you think that we should be thinking about new and different ways to add value to customers. And you want to pitch that to us. We are so open to hearing from you. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to inbox us onto our on our Facebook platform. We've got a Telco Velocity Facebook page. You're going to inbox us into the Telco Velocity Facebook page. And what you're going to inbox us is you're going to send us a video, a 2 to 3 minute video, which you have recorded and you've uploaded it onto your personal YouTube channel. And then you're going to send us the link to that video. And in that video, you're going to tell us in 2 to 3 minutes why you are the perfect telco digital native to join the team. And after you've sent us that, our digital natives team is going to watch these videos, and then they're going to start reaching out to people that they feel are the elite, exclusive, fun type of people, productive people with the right mindset that we would love to have join our team. So send us your videos. We'd love to watch them. Don't make them more than 2 to 3 minutes long. Make it really clear and punchy why you would be the best person to join the Telco Digital Natives team. And then we will have chats with you going forward that help you to understand more what we're looking for. And that also puts you through some of the other little hoops and jumps that we have to put you through in terms of psychometric tests. But after that, if you qualify, you get onto our Telco Digital Natives team, and we have lots of fun together online. Team, you are wonderful. Thank you so much. I really look forward to becoming a Telco Digital Native myself, especially the cool gadgets and the cool apparel. And we look forward to chatting more about the Telco Digital Natives. You guys, please join us again. We will have ongoing series that we were going to be talking about different things. And, please definitely join us once again. Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.